early in pick and roll. And then, Steph missed some open ones too. And so it's always a combination. But, this is even for, the best shooter in the world. Games like this happen. And fortunately, they don't happen too often. And, I like Steph coming off of a game like this too. I like his ability to bounce back. So to be able to win the game with our defense, with our depth, is a great team effort.
Ron on the right.
Ron Krojcik from the Chronicle. You mentioned Gary in passing. If you think about where he was just a little over a month ago on the court in Memphis, broken elbow, to not just come back this quickly, but to make the impact he did tonight, sort of your reaction to that and what it says about him to be able to do that.
Yeah, when he was lying there in Memphis, I thought maybe his season was over, and we knew how important he was to us in so many ways. So, the inspiration for Gary was to be able to make it back if we were able to advance, and I watched him work every single day, running sprints, doing defensive slides, with his elbow in a sling. The guy's a workhorse. He's incredible. So amazing athlete, great defensive player. He's got really good instincts out there, and obviously super competitive. And for him to make it back, it's obviously crucial for our team. But I'm really thrilled for him. With his journey in this league, he's come a long way, and now he's getting a chance to shine in the finals. So it's awesome.
Anthony on the left.
What particularly did you think you did well defensively tonight, especially on Jaylen Brown?
I just thought our force, our pressure, our help was there all the time. We just didn't allow a lot of openings. Our rotations were good, and we flew out to shooters and just tried to make it as tough as possible. So it was a great effort, but we got to rev it back up and do it again in Game 6.
Ann on the right.
Hey, Steve. From the outside, it looks as though Andrew's confidence and, for want of a better word, joy has increased like almost game by game. And I'm just wondering, what are you seeing from him in terms of his comfort level, his confidence, and all of that?
Yeah, he's definitely confident. He's definitely enjoying the playoffs. He loves the challenge. He loves the competition. And excuse me. He's found such a crucial role on our team, and I think that empowers him. He knows how much we need him, and so he's been fantastic.
Melissa Rowland, Fox Sports. Hey, Steve. After tonight's performance, there's legitimate chatter that Wiggins should be in contention for the MVP Finals award. When you guys first acquired him, did you think he'd become this key of a cog for you guys?
We knew we needed his athleticism and his defense and his versatility, and we had no idea, that he would make this kind of contribution. But I think it's a reminder that for almost every player in the NBA, circumstances are everything. You just you kind of need to find the right place, the right teammates, that kind of stuff. And Wiggs has been a great fit.
Last couple for Coach. Vince.
Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. Steve, when you get to this stage of the season, Game 5 of the finals, how much does poise just play a part in the entire equation? It looked like Boston was kind of unraveling a bit, and these games kind of become a slog. Do you prepare your team for that?
Yeah, I thought that was the most important part of the game tonight, was that we had a 12-point lead at half, and they came and just stormed right through us in that third quarter for the first, whatever it was, 8-9 minutes. And that was a crucial part of the game for us to respond to that. Jordan hit the huge shot, a couple big ones late third, and then had a really good stretch to start the fourth as well. But the response to Boston's run, to me, was the key to the game.
Final question, Kendra.
Kendra Andrews, ESPN. Steve, the other day, Draymond said he to take what he did in the fourth quarter of Game 4 and then apply it to all of Game 5. Just what did you think of his presence and force and performance tonight?
This is a guy I've been watching for 8 years. He's all over the place defensively. He's distributing the ball. He's bringing that intensity and competitiveness and energy. I thought Draymond was brilliant.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
First one, John, on the right side.
John Corrales, Boston Sports Journal. Ime, in that fourth quarter, it seemed like you guys really got caught up in the officiating there, and that's when things started to unravel. Is that what did you see there?
I think there was a little bit of that throughout the game, so not necessarily only in the fourth, but probably something we shouldn't do as much, and we all did too much.
Towards the side.
Brian Robb, Mass Live. Offensively, you guys really struggled there for a big chunk of the fourth quarter. I know Jalen and Jason pretty much played that whole second half. Did you feel like fatigue-wise it was kind of showing up there in terms of the kind of offense you guys were creating, or was it something else that you're seeing?
Could have been. We ran them obviously a longer stretch to get back in the game in the third. Looked like our decision-making waned a little bit in the fourth, and could have been from that. We weren't getting a whole lot of production off the bench. Went with them a little bit longer, being that they got us back in it and tried to use the timeouts for their rest. But we got away from a little bit of what got us back in the game in the third, and decision-making and fatigue could be a part of it, the reason why.
Back left.
Hi, Coach. Tal from Haaretz newspaper in Israel. You played back-to-back Game 7. Now you're playing a very demanding final series against the Warriors. Do you think this has started to take a toll on your players?
No, I don't think that's the reason at all.
Gary, raise your hand there, please. Thank you.
Gary Washburn, Boston Globe. You made the missed free throws. It seems like you guys are back to where you have no idea how this team's going to perform from night to night. The first quarter, you guys looked like you were sleepwalking. Like, why not that intensity, or why did it only show up for the third quarter?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain that start. We lacked the physicality early. They took the fight to us a little bit early, and we were struggling to finish in the paint. So that was pretty evident early on. I think the second, 24-23 them. The second we kind of got back into it to get it close enough at halftime, and then obviously had the third quarter, and then the fatigue could have played a part in the fourth. But poor start overall. That's hard to explain that why that is, but we got back in and turnovers and missed free throws and some of the things. Obviously, a little bit of talking to the refs too much probably didn't help us in the fourth. But the start is hard to explain. It was we were guarding well enough. They had 27. I mean, for the most part, they had 19, 17 with a few minutes left, but our offense was stagnant and unaggressive.
Adam, over here.
Steph has obviously been in control of this series. What did you think about the job you guys did on him, and also does it feel like a missed opportunity on the day you finally did slow him down, but it still wasn't enough?
Yeah, better job on him. A little more physical there. Switched up the coverage a little bit, but have to do it on the others. And anytime you got Wiggins with 26, Thompson with 21, Peyton and Poole off the bench 15 and 14, they're kind of making up for some of the things he was doing. So overall, it's a solid job on him. But again, I don't know if it was our defense as much as offensive struggles that hurt us tonight.
On your right, Tim.
You mentioned those offensive struggles. When you guys would get into those stretches where you couldn't get going and you did get stagnant, was that a result of their physicality knocking you out of what you wanted to do, or was it something else that you saw that kept having that happen?
Early in the game, they were the aggressor on defense, kind of blowing up some of our actions, and our spacing wasn't the best due to that. Went a little more off ball and got some movement, got some things going. And once we did start defending better and getting the stops, we got out and ran, obviously. But a little bit of that early, and then, like I said, it could be fatigue in the fourth quarter after expending a lot to come back. And so a lot had to do with them in the fourth start for sure.
And you mentioned a little bit of the chatter with the refs. Did you get called for being out of the box by Mark on that? Is that at least what they explained to you?
Part of it, yes.
And then did something happen there with Tony in the fourth quarter? It seemed like you two had a conversation or something?
Yeah, he didn't like how I pointed at him.
Thank you.
Robert?
By Manning, CLNS Media. Ime, it felt like at one point you guys turned the corner with the ball control, with the decision making as you talk about, and now it just seems like it's kind of popping up again and again. Just from your perspective, is it a matter of needing to call more plays? Is it? I know you can only say so much to limit what's going on out there, but just what do you think has gone wrong with the ball control for this group?
Playing in the crowd too much is caused a lot of these turnovers. Obviously, Jason, Marcus having 4 and Jalen having 5 are primary ball handlers that get caught in some tough spots at times. And so when we're at our best, it's simple ball movement. I think that third quarter showed that. The driving kick was beautiful. It was working, getting guys wide open shots. And then, like I said, I don't know if fatigue affects the decision making a little bit there or just physically don't have the burst to finish it off. But that has been a problem for us, obviously, at times in this series, in quarters specifically, where we've gotten a little stagnant. And so when we do it well, it works, and it looks good, and we get shots that we want. We kind of slow it down or play in the crowd, and those turnovers pop up in the bad offense.
On your right, John?
John Corrales, Boston Sports Journal. When you were down 3-2 to Milwaukee, you sat in front of us and you exuded a lot of confidence. Tonight, it seems like you're kind of like searching for answers. How are you feeling going into a game 6 where now your back's against the wall again?
Well, feeling the message to the guys is to be confident going home, get your rest, and then let's get ready to bring it back here. And so for us, it's really about consistency, and that's the thing we're not having throughout a full game is a consistent effort, sustained effort, more so offensively than anything. And so that's the part where we got to have carry over from quarter to not only game to game, but even quarter to quarter, like we saw in the third, and then it doesn't happen in the fourth. So obviously we're all frustrated with tonight a little bit, but even prior, quarters and games. And so our message is take it one at a time. We've been here before and did it against Milwaukee, and let's bring it back out to the Bay.
We're going to go last 2 here, and then Gary.
Abby Chin, NBC Sports Boston. Ime, what did you see from Jason tonight? I mean, some uncharacteristically bad misses in the free throw line as well.
Yeah, I said part of that could be fatigue. Expended a lot, obviously, in playing 44 minutes. He was one of our main guys rolling, and so when he got it going in the third, we rode him a little bit longer there, and the bench production wasn't as sharp as usual, so we ran Jason longer, and some of that fatigue and decision-making could play a part in the fourth quarter. So, and that probably has something to do with the misses. Not only free throws, but some of his three-pointers being off a little bit.
I'm sorry, I got Gary and then Jared in the back. That'll be it.
Ime, have they found something to get you their defense against your offense? The last couple of games, it seems like you guys have had a hard time scoring. And besides that third quarter when the 3 went down, it just seems like there's nothing easy.
Yeah, they've ramped up the physicality and they're switching quite a bit more. But as you saw in the third quarter, anytime we don't get stagnant and go one against the crowd, it can look pretty easy and get the shots we want. So just have to, like I said, have carryover from game to game. Not only that, but quarter to quarter. And a 35-point third quarter when we're moving the ball, getting into the lane, penetrating kick, and getting the wide open shots we want, we got to have that carry over into the fourth. And to basically only have 14 or so until the young guys came in late, obviously it was a night and day quarter from the third and the fourth. And as I said, we rode them a little longer. Fatigue could play a part in that, whether it's physical or some of the decision making and turnovers there. But kind of went with the high hands that got us back in the game.
Jared, last question.
We've been talking about offensive stagnation and crunch time pretty much throughout the year, and you've always talked about how the players spreading the floor need to have some sort of movement or action to create their own openings. And tonight, whenever somebody will get some way to try to kick out, the defense knows where to be because they're not moving. So why do you think this far into the year we're still having that stagnation issue?
Spacing was the issue with them being physical, especially in the first quarter. They kind of blew up some of our actions, and we were playing basically on top of each other. So what worked well, especially in Game 3 at home, was one of our best games of getting spaced out quick to our actions and then penetrating kick. And so, like I said, you got to have carryover game to game, not only game to game, but what we did in the third quarter. And so a little bit, credit to them as far as their physicality on defense. But at this point, we know what works well for us, and we got to have that consistency.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, we'll start in the middle for Draymond.
Marcus Thompson, The Athletic. Draymond, did that feel like you out there on both ends of the court?
Yeah, I felt more like myself, just aggressive on both sides of the ball. I felt a little more like myself in Game 4 as well after an atrocious Game 3. But, just got to continue to build, and I think tonight's a great start. Now looking forward to going into Game 6 with the same energy and effort.
Hey, Draymond, Cameron Buford, voice of the fans. Third quarter of this game, they won that third quarter. They came out and jumped on you guys. You guys flipped that around in the fourth quarter. What happened in that fourth quarter that let you guys get that advantage back?
I think I think the way we responded in the third quarter was huge. And Jordan hitting that shot right before the clock expired was a great momentum boost for us. When a team goes on a run like they did, and it was more than a run, they pretty much dominated the entire third quarter. For us to still go into the fourth quarter with the lead, that's huge. And I think that was something that we could build on, and we did. And, coming out there in the fourth quarter, we were able to get stops, and we got out in transition, got a couple easy buckets. That was huge for us.
Malika.
Malika Andrews, ESPN. Hey, Draymond.
What's up, Malika?
Andrew Wiggins has been such a consistent presence for you all playoffs long, really. Can you just speak to at what point that trust began to build that he was the guy you would look for in those moments?
That trust has been building for 2.5 years now since he got here. A lot of people looked at the trade like, oh, it's another piece that they can move. And we looked at the trade from the very beginning like that is a guy who can fit next to a healthy group absolutely well. I think, when he first came here, and I'll never forget, it's when Tibbs wasn't with the Knicks. And Tibbs was like, you guys are going to love him. He competes, he defends, and he was telling us Jimmy loved him. And we all know how Jimmy Butler is. Like, if you got any softness to you, Jimmy don't like you. That's just how Jimmy is cutting. And he's continued to show that. He's continued to get better. He's taken on every challenge that we've thrown in front of him, and it's huge. And we need him to do that for one more win.
Mark Spears, ESPN's Landscape. Gary Payton II, you saw the injury, you saw the recovery. Just take me through what you saw from him, and are you shocked that he's doing what he's doing now?
I'm not shocked at all. I think, G is someone who works, and, he wouldn't be in this position if he didn't work the way that he does. And to see him bounce back from the injury like he did, it's like he just picked up right where he left off at, which is what he's done all year. He's defended, he's gotten putbacks, he comes up with loose balls, he's knocked his corner threes down, and he's been absolutely huge. You're talking a guy who made this team as the 15th man, and then became a key part of our rotation. So it's no surprise that he had the game that he had, and that he's had the impact on this series that we all hoped that he would get back, because we knew that he could have that impact.
Hi, Draymond. Janie McCauley from AP. Following up on Malika's question just about Wiggins, when did you see this determined grit and confidence on both ends just start to really reveal itself? That didn't happen right away.
Well, no, that didn't happen right away. I think he, started to fill it out, but coming into this year, he was an all-star starter for a reason. He defended very well. He scored the ball very well, and really just plugged right in. Like, it wasn't like, oh, you need to call a set for him every time. He's just kind of been getting it, and he's continued to do that. And I think the bigger the challenge has been that we've thrown in front of him, the better he's responded. And that's a guy like that. That's a guy. You want a guy like that, that, when the stakes get big, they respond and they play their best basketball, and that's what he's been doing.
Last question for Draymond. Sam on the right.
Sam Amick, The Athletic. Dre, you've spent a lot of your career after wins talking about how amazing Steph is. Is it a different kind of satisfaction when it's a night like tonight? And especially after Game 4, you all talked about needing to help him.
No, I don't think there's a different type of satisfaction. A win is a win, whether Steph gets 43, 10, and 4, or whether he finishes with 16 on 7 for 22 shooting. A win is a win. And, obviously we have spoke about helping him, and I don't think he's been out there helpless. Like, that's the narrative. But everybody's doing their part. And, you know, tonight, a night that he didn't have it going, we found offense elsewhere. And that's kind of what it's been. But in the same token, if he's got it going, we're going to be heavy Steph Curry. That's just what it is. So the whole notion of this guy doesn't, you know, he doesn't have help. Well, he got 43. He's going to keep shooting. And we're going to keep doing all that we can to get him shooting. So it was huge. And, you know, now that's good for us. You know, he was 0 for 9 from 3. He's going to be livid going into Game 6, and that's exactly what we need.
Thanks, Draymond. First question for Gary. Start with Rohan on the right.
Gary, Rohan Nadkarni, Sports Illustrated. You had 3 steals tonight. The Celtics, I think, as a team, had 18 turnovers. Is there a key or anything you guys are doing specifically defensively that you think is causing them to turn the ball over so often?
Just being aggressive, bringing the force to them, you know, from the jump, and just don't let them get comfortable.
Ron?
Gary, Ron Krojcik from the San Francisco Chronicle. When you think about lying on the floor in Memphis and how quickly you've not only come back to influence a finals game the way you did tonight, sort of that quick journey, and if you ever had a doubt that you could come back, it's a pretty quick recovery from an injury that significant.
Oh, yeah, I had no doubt in my mind that I was pushing to come back. I wasn't going to miss this for the world. So just focused on my rehab after that happened, and, you know, did everything I can to put myself in a position to be ready for, you know, game 1 or 2.
Janie on the left.
Hi, Gary. Janie McCauley, AP. What did you see observing Andrew Wiggins early in the playoffs when you weren't on the floor, and just his emergence over the course of the season as he continued to gain confidence, all-star starter, and just being able to contribute so much on both ends at crucial times?
Just his urgency. He comes out with force. You know, after I went out, you know, he had the role to, you know, to guard the best guy for extended periods of time. And he took the challenge on, and he's doing it on both ends. He's doing the best he can on defense, and he's playing, you know, tremendous on offense and making plays for us. But, you know, he just stepped up and took on the challenge.
Mark Spears on the right.
Mark Spears, ESPN's Landscape. Considering where you've come from, what does it mean to be a game away from the finals championship?
It's probably a little too early to speak on that. You know, we got to go way over here and try to run this back for another 48 minutes and be aggressive. But, you know, it's so close, but yet so far. So just try to stay locked in and go on this road and, you know, and try to close out.
Next one on the right.
Hi, Gary. Davide Chinellato from Italy Gazzetta. What do you think makes this team so special? I mean, you guys won a game with Steph Curry shooting 7 of 22. You find many ways to win. What do you think makes this team so special?
Just the strength in numbers. You know, we have a bunch of guys, you know, that's ready at all times. And, you know, when their numbers call, they come in and give us a good push, good energy, good vibe on the court. You know, it could be for 30 seconds, 2 minutes. You know, whoever comes in, steps up. They come in and do their job and, you know, keep the same flow that we had.
Monty on the left.
Hey, G. You guys in the first quarter set a defensive tone pretty early. Watching from the bench, what did you see, and how would you describe what you saw from your teammates?
We just had a sense of urgency. We knew that you know, whoever was going to take this game was going to shift the series. So we came out with urgency, came out with force, and you know, we try to not let them hit first, and we just kept jabbing and jabbing and jabbing all the way down the line. They made a run in the third. We responded tremendously. Cleaned up what we needed to clean up in third, heading on to the fourth, and in the fourth we just had big plays from different people.
Last question, Melissa on the right.
Hey, Gary. Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports. When asked about Wiggins, Steve Kerr said that fit is everything. What is it about this Warriors team that, like, brings out the best in you, brings out the best in Wiggins? Like, why do guys feel so comfortable to become the best versions of themselves here?
I think we have a really great group, smart group of individuals, very, very high IQ of the game. And we just try to make it simple for each and every one of us, for each teammate. Great spacing. We have a lot of shooters, great spacing, and with Wiggs, the way he's playing, shooting at how he's shooting, and off the dribble, it makes it very tough for guys to guard, to pick and choose what you want to give up. So really is everybody just being their self and being unselfish and, trying to make plays for themselves, but yet again, they make plays for their teammates doing that.
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, guys.
First question for Jordan. We'll go to the back.
Jordan, Brandon Scoopy Robinson, Valley Sports. I talked to Gary prior to this game, and he said the word of the day was energy. For you, what was your energy like going into the game? How did you start? How you finish?
I feel like we had good energy, being able to be on the road. Our team came out with a lot of fight. Energy and chase was good. We were able to feed off that and got a big win.
Maddie on the right here.
You hit that buzzer three-pointer at the end of the third quarter, and that spurred kind of a 10-0 run to start the fourth. It seemed like a momentum shifter of sorts. What is it about those moments that you're able to rise to the occasion and hit those clutch threes? And do you feel like you've gotten more comfortable as the series has gone on?
Yeah. We got 5 games under our belt now, so being able to see some coverages and kind of get used to the way they guard. So definitely getting a little bit more comfortable as the series goes on. And as for the shots later in the shot clock or in the quarters, I always want those, and my teammates look for me on those. And the sliders kind of go up as the clock goes down. So just continue to be aggressive and look for my shot and just beat a moment, I guess.
Question in the back middle.
Robert Little, BSO. The second unit outscored Boston coming into that second quarter and then into that fourth quarter, like she had just said. How important is that when Steph sits get that rest, that second unit can extend out leads like that?
Just be able to go out there and be aggressive, make plays. The coaches and the coaching staff is kind of giving me the keys to go out there and be extremely aggressive and hunt my shot, but people stepped up today, and our teammates came ready to play on both sides of the ball, and tremendous win, tremendous team effort, and got a big win tonight.
Vince up front.
Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. After you guys rebounded from that third quarter run that Boston made, could you see them unraveling a little bit? You and Marcus Smart had a little thing going on. Could you see them mentally starting to lose their poise?
Emotions are high, especially when games matter like this, and I guess that's just how it goes. We were able just to get some momentum, and we were at home, and if that did something to the other team, it must have worked. We were able to get a win.
Davide in the back.
Hi, Jordan. Davide Chinellato from Gazzetta in Italy. How's the mood in the locker room knowing that you are one win away from a championship, but at the same time, one win away? You have.
Yeah. The same, how we have been all series. We're one game closer, but we still got another 48 to go out there and play. Stay locked in, stay extremely focused, and look at our adjustments and find ways to get better. Got to go get a big one on the road, and we feel as if we're fully capable of that, but the job's not done, obviously, and we got one more big one to win.
Any final questions for Jordan? Thanks, Jordan.
Far right, Mark.
Mark Murphy, Boston Herald. Actually, for both of you guys, the last 2 games, especially tonight, you seem to slip into some things that you guys were doing earlier in the season, just in terms of execution. What do you think happened? Slipping into some of the mistakes you made earlier in the season.
I think definitely we weren't as sharp as we needed to during times there. Just tough. Definitely it's, now our backs are against the wall, and we have to see what we're made of. And the challenge starts back home on Thursday.
Tim?
For each of you guys, first for you, Al, when you guys get into those periods in this game where you had pretty long stretches where you struggled offensively, or got stagnant, what caused that?
Yeah, just I feel like almost playing into their hands. Some of the things they want us to do, which is, take contested, mid-range shots, and probably play a little faster than we want at times. I feel like that's part of the reason, why our offense hasn't been clicking like it needs to be.
And Rob, it seems like as the series has gone on and you've had more time to kind of recover, you've looked better and better. Have you felt better as this has gone on, and does it give you optimism you can continue to get better as this thing continues over the next week?
Yeah, for sure. I've been feeling good. Obviously, the 2 days between the games helped me a lot, but been feeling good, man. Just looking to keep going.
John on the right.
John Corrales, Boston Sports Journal. For either of you, Al, in the fourth quarter there, it seemed like the officials, there was a lot of going back and forth, even with Ime, some of you guys. How much did that impact? It seems like, to Mark's question earlier, it's like a bad habit of when things start going with the calls, you guys start to unravel a little bit.
Yeah, not our best moment. As you guys know, I feel like we've been able to fend those things off, especially throughout the playoffs. For whatever reason, tonight I feel like it got to us, and it's one of those things that we kind of brought it back. We were able to focus back in, but we can never let that get to us. We can't let that affect our game, the way that things are being played. We feel like we can control a lot of those things, and it's something that we have to move on and be better on Thursday.
Gary in the middle.
Gary Washington, Boston Globe. Al, why the bad start? Like it seemed like the biggest game of you guys' careers. I mean, one that you need to have. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that they came out really aggressive. We got to give them credit. They were pretty good to start with, and I felt like we were okay, and we handled their run. And the thing with us was we weren't really making shots early on, but I felt like our defense kept us in it. And for whatever reason, they just were the better team to start. In the third, we flipped it. We were the more aggressive team and the team that kind of got it going. So for us, it's understanding that defensively we have to be who we are, and that's the defense is what's going to give us a chance. Offensively, obviously, we can't turn the ball over. That was a big thing, but just continuing to be solid on the defensive end.
On your right.
Brian Robb, Mass Live. Question for either of you guys. How much do you feel like the offensive struggles in the fourth quarter was the fatigue there kind of adding up, particularly for Jason and Jalen, and how much does that kind of impact decision making and settling at that point in the game? Did you guys see?
You want to take that one, or you want me to take? Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I mean, that's something you're going to have to ask them, about the fatigue standpoint. But I obviously we were a little discouraged, after having such a good third, to come out in the fourth and not execute like we needed to. We felt like we had opportunities and kind of, started playing like we were playing earlier in the game. So that's definitely, tough. Our backs are against the wall. We have to. This is the time that we look at each other in the eyes and we got to figure it out. We have an opportunity now, and we got to figure it out. There's no tomorrow for us.
Robert.
Bobby Manning, CLNS Media. Al, I'm sure you've talked a lot, watched a lot of film about these turnovers and just the ball control issues. What are you guys trying to get to? Is there certain sets you're trying? Like, what are you trying to get to limit those? And what's stopping you guys from getting there? I know you two had kind of played a role during the year in ball control and running some sets and things like that.
Yeah, we just want to be solid. We're trying to, obviously, if we can get layups, we get in there, get layups. It's not we have to kick it out. create movement and things like that. And easier said than done. And we do it at times, but it's just one of those things that we need to continue to do because that's the way that they defend. That's the way that they make you play.
Abby Chin, NBC Sports Boston. Rob, starting with you, I mean, you guys have been in this position before. What gives you confidence going back in Boston?
We know what we need to do. We know what we've been messing up on. Like you said, we've been here before. Got the most confidence in everybody in that locker room. Just going back to what the OG said, just got to look at each other in the eye now. Our backs against the wall.
And then was it Jared?
Al, when you guys are watching someone try to score an ISO against a mismatch in crunch time, the point of emphasis for you guys has always been try to have some movement on the spacing around to try to make it so the defense can't just stay in their spots and know where the kickouts are coming from. What are you guys looking for when you see somebody in isolation as far as where you want to space out to, and do you feel like you guys need to be more active to create more openings?
No, I just think we just need to, continue to be available. The guys that have the ball, they have to make the reads. So it's a hard job, but they have to identify things. And outlets are going to be what they are. Defense is going to be what it is, and it's just about making the play. It's just as simple as that.
Switching throughout a Mass Live for either of you guys, just what allowed you guys to come out so strong in the third, and did that buzzer beater at the end of the quarter kind of maybe spill over into the fourth?
I just think it was, we felt like, we needed to step up. We know that in the third, they're a really good third quarter team, and we challenged one another to come out in the third strong, and we did that. Jalen started it for us. I thought Jalen was great with his pace, with his energy in that third, kind of boosting us. And then the Jordan Poole shot, I mean, that's a tough shot. Shake his hand, go down the other way. But no, I don't think that had carryover to the fourth. Maybe for them, but not for us.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This question for Clay. Barry, we'll start with you up here.
Hey, Clay, this is Barry Bloom from Sportico. Considering what you guys have been through over the last 8 years, how does it feel to be this close to another championship?
I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It does feel good, but we've been here before, 2016, and we might have been, overly eager, but it feels good, but we haven't done anything yet, and the mission still is the same, and we're all eager to get to Boston and, play a great game on Thursday.
Marcus?
Marcus Thompson, The Athletic. Clay, as someone who's been here from the beginning, how good does it feel to see other guys play the type of basketball you guys instituted, years ago?
Oh, it's special. I mean, buying in is one of the biggest keys to success in this league, and for what Andrew did tonight, I mean, we don't get more excited than when Wiggs dunks on somebody and mean mugs them. That really uplifts the whole team in the Bay Area, and I mean, Jordan Poole was clutch tonight. Gary Payton the second. I mean, I go down the list. We just had contributions from the whole roster.
Anthony on the left.
Do you think this is your best defensive series that you've played in these playoffs?
It could be, but doesn't mean anything if I go out there and lay an egg in a couple days or a few days. So I'm just excited to build on it, and wow, just gonna be. I've never been so excited to go to Boston. I'll tell you that.
Ron on the right.
Clay, Ron Kreitzer from the San Francisco Chronicle. Gary Payton, a little more than a month ago. Gary Payton, a little more than a month ago, obviously had an injury that looked like it could have ended his season. Draymond, by his own admission, played atrociously in Game 3, and it seems like they both sort of personified what you guys did on defense tonight.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you could sort of convey. We've talked a lot about Draymond over the years, but what they each mean to your team defense?
I mean, Gary plays bigger than any other 6'2" NBA player I've ever seen. His vert and his ability to slide in front of the ball, obviously we know where that came from his pops, but his vert is something special, and his improved jump shot has also been a huge weapon for us. And then with Draymond, he got us going early with his pressure and his heart and getting up and down the floor. And Draymond is the heart and soul of this team, and I just love going to battle with those two guys. They are just a gritty, throwback type of players.
Dalton on the left.
Hey, Clay. Dalton Johnson here, NBC Sports Bay Area. The trio of you, Steph, and Draymond now have one more finals win than the trio of Tim Duncan, Manu, and Tony Parker. To you, right there, what does that stat mean to you? I mean, someone, obviously that knows the game, been around for this long.
It's a blessing. I mean, those three guys are Hall of Famers and some of the greatest to ever play. And I feel like they played my whole life, my whole childhood. So to be in this, just mention the same company with them, that is humbling. And, it won't mean much unless we get another win. So that's awesome. I mean, but it would really add to our legacy if we close this thing out.
Howard on the right.
Howard Beck with Sports Illustrated. Clay, we often ask you guys what it's like to watch Steph when he has a really special night like he did in Game 4. What's it like having to kind of endure when he has this rare, tough night? And is it added stress? Is it, how does it filter out to the rest of the team in terms of rallying around that?
Well, Steph is the best to ever shoot it, and I'll tell you what, everyone in this building, including the fans and those watching, believe the ball is going in when it leaves his fingertips. So we're never stressed or worried about number 30. He has done so much and elevated this franchise to a place where it was hard to even imagine that he has leeway and he can have a bad night. I just know he'll respond. He's one of the greatest competitors I've ever been around, and he is a perfectionist like myself, so I know he'll be thinking about the shots he missed, and that's a good thing because Thursday, hopefully, most of the time he regresses to the mean, and it's scary when he does.
Ohm on the left.
Like ESPN, to that same point, tonight's the first time Steph did make a three in a regular season or postseason game after 233 straight games. It's the longest streak in NBA history.
By a
For
long shot.
All-time great shooter like yourself, can you even begin to contextualize what that streak is like?
It's hard to. I mean, the man is a magician with the ball in his hands and really just kind of what's the word? He just kind of redefined what the point guard position's capable of. I've never seen a player who can shoot off the ball screen or the pin down or anywhere like Steph, and I just have been very blessed to share the backcourt with him. I've seen him do so many amazing things that's become routine and expected, but it shouldn't be because he is really a transcendent talent that we'll never see again.
Last couple for Clay. Mark.
Hey, Clay. Mark Medina, NBA.com. Two-parter here. Growing up, what did you learn from your pops about the Lakers-Celtics rivalry? And even though you're obviously with a different team, how has that shaped your experience facing them in the finals so far?
Well, when you face a team with a history like the Celtics, it's awesome. I mean, they've had some of the greatest players to ever dribble a ball, all the way back to Cousy and Russell, to Bird, McHale, Parrish, and you're watching Paul Pierce and Kobe go at it, and now to add to that legacy, and it's great. And growing up, we would watch those games, and you could just feel the tension in the Forum or at the Boston Garden, and I know he looks back on those with just so much joy, as I do too, because the Lakers-Celtics rivalry really built the NBA, you can say, and it's one of the greatest rivalries in the world. So to kind of be able to be a part of that with, Golden State and Boston, it's a new chapter, and it's just awesome to be here. It's like it's like a dream, honestly. Like compared to what I was doing last year in this building at this time of the year, it's a dream.
Last question to CJ.
CJ Holmes, San Francisco Chronicle. Clay, how did your recent retreat on the water get you ready for Game 5 tonight?
Man, that's a great question. You know, the Bay, it doesn't matter what time of the year it is, the Bay, you know, it can be cold, but when it's one of those days where it's in the low 60s and the sun is shining, I make it a point to jump in the ocean. I just think the ocean has healing properties that a pool might not have, or a cold tub, and just to be immersed in nature like that, it really makes me happy, and just your whole body feels so great when you get out of that cold water, and it just feel like, honestly, you just feel a little closer to God when you look up at the beautiful skies, and you just in the ocean, like I'm an Aquarius, so I've always loved the water my whole life, and it really is my happy place besides the hardwood.
Thanks, Clay.
No problem.
Mark on the far right. First question.
Mark Murphy, Boston Herald. Jalen, you guys had won that third quarter. Just how much did that Jordan Poole 3 sort of puncture your tires?
It was a big shot, but third quarter, we played some really good basketball. We just didn't take care of business in other quarters.
Down the stretch, you guys seem to have some execution issues again. Have you regressed a little bit in the last 2 games?
It's the NBA Finals. Credit to Golden State. They made it tough on us, the intensity level. And we dropped the ball execution-wise. Offensively, we got to be better. I got to be better, and I'm looking forward to it next game.
Adam over here.
Jalen, Ime was saying, obviously you and Jason played essentially the whole second half until the end there. You thought maybe fatigue had factored in. Was that something you communicate with him at all during the flow of a game, or were you feeling good the whole time? And if not, what did you feel like affected you guys when things started to turn?
I wanted to be on the floor, and Ime trusted me to be out there. So over the course of the game, we made some good plays. We were in it. It felt like we just couldn't get over the hump tonight. Tough loss, but got an opportunity to even it back up on our home floor, push a Game 7, and I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Jay over here.
That's 2 straight fourth quarters now. Things have gone wrong for you. When things start to go bad like that, what do you need to have to stop that from unraveling?
Just some patience, a little bit more perseverance. I feel like we had some good looks. You know, we had some good opportunities, and it didn't go down. I feel like I had some good looks. I missed a lot of shots tonight. Just patience and perseverance, you know, and we didn't have that tonight, but we're gonna need to have it for next game.
Dan on the right side.
Jalen, speaking of that, you've guys have been in a lot of different situations. You talked at the very beginning of the playoffs about how much you like the inner strength of this team. How do you look at Game 6 and getting back here for Game 7?
Your faith got to be at an all-time high. You know, faith got to continue to be there. We got to play as a team, as a unit, and you know, all season long, it's kind of been like us versus everybody. You know, so I look at it as no different from now. My faith is higher than it's ever been before. So I'm looking forward to Game 6.
Tim in the back right.
Jalen, you've said a bunch of times in these playoffs when you guys have struggled offensively, it's been because of spacing. Beyond that, is there anything Golden State has been doing that's getting you guys out of rhythm when you've had these stagnant stretches of these games?
A little bit. Credit to them. They're a really good defensive team. You know, discipline and sound. They're going to force us to do what, obviously, we don't do best. So we just got to continue to recognize the game, see the game, and make in-game adjustments and take care of the ball when it comes down to it. Another game with too many turnovers, and it costs us.
And you guys have obviously been through a bunch of difficult situations in these playoffs. You won Game 7 against Miami on the road. You were down 3-2 against Milwaukee and came back. Why is your faith in the group at this point higher than it's ever been that you can turn this thing around?
I ain't got no choice. We don't have no choice. It's when to go home. At this point, We done worked incredibly hard all season to put ourselves in this position. I still feel like we have so much more better basketball to play that we haven't played in the last 2 games. And I'm hoping that the next 2 games we play Celtic basketball and put our best foot forward like I know we can. And I know the city's going to be behind us. It's going to be a big Game 6, so I'm looking forward to it.
Jared on this side.
Oftentimes in fourth quarters, when you guys use control of games, it's really pushing tempo, you leaking out off of turnovers, things like that. Why do you think you guys lose that pace in fourth quarters late in the game?
I'm not sure. I think Golden State's trying to take it away. I think that they know what we do best. We just got to, take advantage of our opportunities and make them pay for their mistakes. So give credit to Golden State. They were the tougher playing team tonight, and it resulted in the W for them.
Gary in the center.
Gary Washington, Boston Globe. Jalen, the slow start, you guys fell behind 24-8 in the biggest game of your career and everybody's career in that roster. Why the slow start? Why were you guys lethargic?
I don't know how to answer that question. We come out each and every night and try to do the best job that we possibly can. Like I said, credit to Golden State. They came out with great energy and made it tough for us. I feel like we had some good looks, but it didn't go our way tonight, So we don't hang our head. We don't make excuses for it. And we come out and we get ready for the next one.
Brian up front.
Brian Robb, Mass Live. Jalen, Ime talked about how the Warriors kind of, blowing up your guys' sets a little bit with their physicality and stuff like that. How do you guys kind of adjust to that moving forward? Is it just making some tweaks there, or just being able to try to match them more throughout the 48 minutes on that front? What do you think of that?
We'll watch it and learn from it and see where we could have been better, stronger with the
Brian up
basketball,
front.
more aggressive. I think they
Brian
did some
Robb,
things
Mass
to kind of
Live.
take us
Jalen,
out
Ime talked
of our
about
spots.
how the Warriors
We'll
kind
watch
of,
it and see where
blowing up your guys' sets a little
those
bit with their
adjustments
physicality
need to
and
be
stuff like
made.
that.
but
How do you guys
overall,
kind of adjust
physicality
to
got to
that
be
moving forward?
better
Is it just
from the
making some
jump.
tweaks there, or
You
just
know,
being
we
able to try to match
was
them more
looking
throughout the
around
48 minutes on
expecting
that front?
somebody to bail us out. You just got to we'll watch it. Be stronger, more learn physical, from more it, dominant. See where we could have get to been the paint better, stronger with the and make somebody more stop aggressive. you. I think they
Brian
did some.
Robb,
I know we're
Mass Live.
capable of it.
Jalen,
Just got to
Ime
do it
talked
of our
about
spots.
how
Cameron
we'll
up front.
watch it and,
Hey,
and see where
Jalen, Cameron
blowing up your
Buford,
guys' sets a little bit with
voice of the
adjustments
fans.
need to be made.
Like that.
but
How do you guys
overall,
kinda
You guys
physicality
have been a
gotta
much
be
better
better
team on the road.
from the jump.
Going,
there,
what is
though.
it going to take to go home and use that home crowd to kind of boost your enthusiasm to kind of push for game 7? Obviously, you just got the one game left. What's your thoughts on that?
It's win or go home. So we got to come with that mentality. It's survival of the fittest, and we got to come out and play Celtic basketball.
Thank you. Take questions for Jason. Over on the right side, John.
John Corrales, Boston Sports Journal. Jason, you may talk about fatigue possibly setting in. Seemed like a couple of your shots started to fall short. Were you feeling the fatigue there in the fourth quarter?
I had a couple shots that were short. I just got not fade as much, use my legs. I mean, you're going to be a little more tired in the fourth than you are in the first quarter. But, you got to get your legs a little more under you on a couple of those shots. Give yourself a chance.
Steve over here.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. What did you think of Andrew Wiggins' performance tonight? And with as much defensive attention that Steph Curry demands, does that open things up for his teammates like that?
Yeah. Got to give all those guys credit. Everybody, for them played well tonight. They were the better team tonight. And you got to give them credit. And, get some rest and get ready for the next one.
Dan on the right side.
Hi, Jason. 2 questions. Dan Roach from WBZ. Just the first one, your thoughts on the turnovers, 18. I think you guys are now 0-7 in the playoffs when you have 16 or more.
Yeah. We got to be better. We hard to beat when we don't turn the ball over, and clearly we're easy to beat when we do turn the ball over.
And second one, Jalen was just talking about the inner strength of this club. He said that from game 1 of the postseason, getting ready for it. that's what he liked. How much do you rely on that now, and how confident are you that you can get back here for a Game 7?
You know, I've said it before. You better be confident, right? You know, we ain't got to win 2 in one day. We just got to win 1 game on Thursday. And we've been in this situation before. So, you know, it's not over. We just got to win on Thursday, and that's all we got to worry about right now.
Jared on the left side.
With about 4.5 minutes left in the game, you tried walking back to the bench and Draymond got in your face. What was the interaction there?
You know, in the NBA, after timeouts, guys try to get shots up. They didn't want me to shoot the ball, so I said, fuck it. I just took the ball with me to the timeout, and I kept the ball the whole time. They ain't say nothing. They just didn't want me to shoot the ball.
Gary.
Jason, Gary Ross from Boston Globe. Why the lethargic start, fall behind 24-8 in the biggest game of your career, Jalen's career, all you guys' career? Why that? And then you guys come back with the third quarter, and then what happened in the early fourth quarter where you kind of everything stopped again?
Yeah, you know, that's on us. We got to obviously start better, not dig ourselves a hole. But gave ourselves a chance. You know, we played extremely well in that third quarter. You know, we were up 6 or 7 at one point. And then just trying to sustain that level of play. You know, we got to do it more often than not throughout the course of the game to give ourselves a chance.
Brian on the right.
Brian Robb, Mass Live. Jason, Ime talked about just the Warriors' defensive physicality kind of taking you guys out of sets or out of spots. How do you guys adjust to that moving forward in this series now? Is it just running your stuff better? Is it making tweaks with spacing and stuff? Like what are you kind of seeing from that standpoint?
Yeah, just being a little more precise about, more detailed about what we're trying to do. You know, not just run through the motions, you know, set screens, hit guys, you know, kind of own your space when things like that, especially on the offensive end.
Do the last two, Cameron and then John on the right.
Hey, Jason. Cameron Buford here, voice of the fans. Was your slow start strategic? Because you didn't get up a shot till, like, I think 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. And so was that strategic? And then are you happy with the shots that you're getting?
Strategic? No. Just kind of how the game was going. Am I happy with the shots I'm getting? Yeah. I just got to make more of them.
Last one, John on the right.
John Corrales, Boston Sports Journal. It seemed like starting with the pool buzzer beater, there was a lot of extended conversation with the refs. You may have gotten a tech a little bit before that. Marcus got one. It seemed like you guys got really caught up in some of the officiating there. Can you kind of explain what was going on there and how much did that impact you in the fourth quarter?
I mean, you saw it. You know, I wasn't in all of those conversations, so you know, I didn't hear everything that was talked about. But you know, in those situations, especially on the road, regardless of, you know, we feel like calls are going our way or not, you know, just in those moments, we just got to be better of not letting distractions or, you know, things like that distract us. You know, down 1 going into the fourth quarter. Just got to focus on what's important at the time. And that's on all of us. And, you know, we'll regroup and bounce back. You know, I'm sure of it.
Thanks, Jason. Let's conclude.
We'll start with Al on the right.
Al Sarasovic, San Francisco Examiner. Andrew, did you ever envision a night like tonight where you carried the team in the most crucial game in the NBA Finals? Your head about
that? You know, something I've dreamt about for sure. You know, being in the league, and you know, this is the ultimate stage. Doesn't get bigger than this. So I was out there just being aggressive, and you know, it was a good game.
Tim on the right.
Andrew, it seems like your teammates over to your right, over here, Clay and all these guys, they were celebrating almost as much as they had made the shots. When you make a shot, or when you, as Clay said, there's nothing better than see you mean mug after a dunk. how much joy do you get in their joy and their appreciation of what's happening here?
Yeah, man, that's love, man. That's what makes all this stuff work. You know, we all support each other. You know, we want to see each other do good and, you know, succeed. That's why we're here.
Hey, Andrew, two-parter for you. One is, what was the scene like in the locker room? You know, these guys are so elated for you after everything you've been through in your journey to have this type of a performance on this type of a stage. What was it like when you walked into the locker room?
Everyone's just excited, you know, just showing love and, you know, support, and everyone's happy. You know, we're one win away from, you know, winning a championship, you know, so everyone's excited.
Why has this fit been so good for you?
Man, there's just a lot of great people here. You know, great people here that challenge you. You know, they hold you accountable, and this is the sports system. You know, everyone on this team, the organization, they support you. They want to see you do good, and they're going to put you in position to do good.
Janie on the left.
Hi, Andrew. Janie McCauley, Associated Press. When did you sort of feel like everything came together? You hadn't even played with Clay, and there were so many things. There was so much discussion. Well, how is that all going to fit? And the joy that you have now, it's clear that things just worked out for you at some point, and it all started clicking.
I mean, before I even got here, they've been great, you know, and things that work for them, and I feel like I'm pretty easygoing. So I came in here and just, you know, hooped. You know, I'm playing basketball and I'm playing hard, you know, and I feel like people respect that. And I'm just trying to win, you know, at the end of the day, you know, no matter what it takes, whatever they need from me, I'm here to help win.
Brandon on the right.
Brandon Scoopy Robinson, Valley Sports over here. Do you remember the first time you turned on the TV and watched the NBA Finals? When was it?
Do I remember? I probably don't remember, to be honest.
Do you have any fond memories of the finals specifically?
I feel like there's been so much. I mean, I watch it every year. But one that maybe stood out to me was when the Raptors played the Warriors, you know, in the finals, because I'm a hometown kid from Canada, you know, and Warriors, so it's kind of just full circle. Now I'm here, you know, on the opposite side.
Ann?
Andrew, at the end of the game, Mike Brown came up to you and said something to you, and it looked like a little emotional moment. Can you share what he said, and also how important has he been to what you've been able to do defensively through this run?
He was excited for me. You know, that's all it was. He's excited. We're all excited. Like I said, we're one win away from winning a championship. So, you know, the emotions are high. And, you know, he's been one of the people that pushed me and challenged me, you know, every game. You know, every day he challenged me to be better.
Marcus?
Marcus Thompson, The Athletic. Andrew, you probably had an impression of Draymond before you got here. But once you got here, what was he like, and what could you see his impact on how the Warriors' play was?
What was the last thing you said, sir?
What did you see, like how he impacted, you know, the style of play?
Everything I thought he was going to be like, he is. You know, he's intense. He speaks his mind, and he makes everyone around him better. Even on the court, everyone around him better. You know, he finds people, he creates. He's a monster on the defensive side. So, you know, he's the anchor.
How was it the first time? Because I'm assuming he like went off on you and cursed you out in practice or something.
I mean, I feel like I respond well to everything. So I don't really remember if there was a moment like that, but I'm sure if there was, you know, that's just the leadership in him. You know, he holds people accountable. You know, and like I said, he wants the best for you. He's gonna make you better. So everything he does it for a reason. You know, and he can dish it out, but he can also take it.
Anthony on the left.
Yeah, you guys have an elite. You've been an elite defense all season. You don't have like a traditional rim protector. How important is just kind of the collective intelligence of everyone out there, the rotations, all that?
Yeah, it works because we all play, you know, together. You know, we're all on the string together. You know, we have each other's backs. You know, on the defensive side, you know, we're not the tallest team, but you know, we work hard.
Back over to Tim on the right.
Andrew, any guess maybe what fans in Minnesota are thinking tonight about Andrew Wiggins?
Shoot, I don't know. I mean, there's some fans that like me, probably some fans that don't. I'm not too sure, but I still wish them all the best. They had a hell of a season, and a lot of good young talent. So, they're going to have a lot of good years ahead of them.
Last couple for Andrew. We'll go with Kylan in the middle.
Hey, Andrew, in the middle over here. Kylan with Cron 4 News, right here. Draymond Green said when they first got the news that you were traded here to Golden State, he saw you as a player who could really fit and survive and thrive in this system. What do you think it is about the Warriors system and just the environment here that has allowed you to really peak in your playing career like you are right now?